We have 2 new embossing folders, and they're going to serve you year-round. Good investments.
Yay! We have one that's for kitty cat lovers,
yes.
And we have a pretty corner that's for everybody. Well, really, they're both for everybody.
I think so. And we've got some wonderful projects. Come play with us. Here they are. There's our pretty corner.
Right.
And you might want to look at it that way too.
Oh, yeah, either way.
And the cat silhouette, which I just love. I have a brand new kitten, and his name is Moxie, and he would be doing that. So we're going to start, well, both of them are 4 1/8 by 5 7/8, and our hot off the press stencils are silk screened on the front.
Right, so you always know where, what they look like when you look at them. Plus, you know which side is which side. And of course, there are always ideas on the back.
Right, and what I love about stencils is you can get some amazing looks.
Embossing folders.
Excuse me.
That's all right.
It's true of stencils too, but
yes,
embossing folders, Paula, focus. You can get some amazing looks so easily, and that's just with craft colored cardstock, then it's been swiped with a brown ink pad.
Ink pad, and that's
yes.
it. Absolutely beautiful.
Easy.
Well, we're going to start with our pretty corner embossing folder.
And look at this. This is just, and what I like about this is it's not terribly flourishy, but it's a nice design, so it's a good mid-range kind of design.
Plus you've got that nice opening in the center,
yes.
So you can add a greeting.
And that's what's been done, but let's look at this. This has been used with the red suede. And that suede is fuzzy, so you can pet it. But I also see some shine going on.
So we've got the black diamond stickles in there. So that was placed in actually the recessed areas of that, and I'm going to show you how to accomplish that.
Okay, so you want the red suede?
Just to show you, you're going to take your red suede paper. So here I've got the fuzzy side up. And normally, when I want the design to be embossed, raised up on this side, I'm going to set it into my embossing folder like so. I'll cut it and then set it in there, run it through my machine. Now the raised edges will be on the top. For this design, for this card, Susan took this and put the fuzzy side down because after it's embossed, she wanted it debossed in those areas.
Now, one thing before you remove that paper, can you hand me the suede?
Yes.
There is a tag on the back, and if you want to, you can peel it off or you can trim around it if you don't want it to go through your folder, so just in case that's an issue.
Sure, but actually I ran this right through.
Yeah, you did.
And it didn't affect it at all.
Okay.
And you're not going to see it.
So you don't have to do that.
Right. I mean, it will work. If you're going to see it, it will peel right off. So now all of those areas, all of the designs that you see are actually debossed.
So they go down.
They go down in, and that gives you an area that you will naturally want to fill with the stickles.
Okay.
And that's what Susan did. Now it's got a nice fine point. So you should be able to get in quite a few of those areas with just the stickles alone. I'm just going to start dotting it in. But if I get to an area that's a little harder to fill because it's a thinner area, then I'm going to grab my skewer or something like that. So let me put a little bit in there. You might want to get a little bit closer. I'm going to add a little bit in like so, and then you can use your skewer to sort of spread it out.
Oh.
If you think that you're not going to, your hand won't be steady enough to just use the stickles, if you can just use the stickles, you can just go around like so.
I would think that would be fine, just to use the stickles.
I've seen both.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
So that's kind of a fun way to fill that up. And you notice it's not so glittery here, but when it dries, it is much more glittery.
Glittery and pretty. And when I first saw the design, I didn't see those hearts in it, and they're kind of fun that you've got some. Now they could read as hearts or not, but just really beautiful. Now we have added, in fact, in several projects you'll be seeing, we've used the inside out greeting dazzles, and what's nice about that is you get all of those designs in 3 finishes, white, black, and gold. Obviously the black is here, and we do have the heart out of the dazzles. This is using the colorist for scrapbooking papers, very, very versatile. And then on the inside, look, just the little corner of it.
So go ahead and emboss it again and just use a little bit of it, that corner. I like that. And the fact that she matted it on black cardstock, that gives you your border around it again.
And
so
this is typical of the inside out. So I love you, you are my everything. So you've got both of those. And you know, this is a nice tip to think about using this for gift tags or anything like that.
Sure.
So just to make something really extra special. Okay, so there's one. Look at this. This is gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
To me, it looks very metallic.
Yes.
It's just a really beautiful look. So that black cardstock has been embossed.
Right.
And then we just added some Inca gold. And Debbie used 3 different kinds of the Inca gold.
I am amazed at this. That's just beautiful.
Isn't it?
So this is the turquoise, and then this is lava red. Look at that.
And then green yellow.
Yes, so the 3 of them were used on this card. So just rubbing them on.
Just rubbing those on.
Now there is a tip about Inca gold. Go ahead, bring it over.
Do you have you have a tip you're going to say?
Yeah, well, you're probably going to say it too.
I don't know.
That you don't want to put your finger
yes.
into the container because it might contaminate and then it might create mold.
That's right.
So you want to just scoop some out.
I used something else to scoop them out, and I got them a little bit mixed up. Sorry. And
But that's okay.
And then I'm going to use a finger to spread it on top. This is what Debbie did. So just lightly on top, so you're getting those edges, and I would definitely want the red on that heart. So
Yes.
I start moving around just like so, and then switch fingers and get some of the blue.
You have 5, so that will work.
I do, and sort of, so you're adding them in combination.
Wow.
And when they mix, it just creates this nice look. Now, I didn't grab all 3 colors, but you see the idea, and you can keep adding that in layers, and you can actually take a cosmetic sponge or a paper towel and sort of burnish those a little bit more and really get them blended in. But I just think that's
pretty.
It is a beautiful look.
So if you keep going, especially adding in that 3rd color, the nice thing about this, notice some of it went onto the cardstock, went into the recessed areas.
It did.
That's fine, because you really want to create this halo around your embossing folder.
Right.
It's just stunning.
It is. It's
and
beautiful.
this has also been used on the dazzles. So take the white ones,
Right.
and
Just take your finger and add
yeah.
a little bit of that Inca gold to the dazzles before you put it on your card.
Now that's something we have never, I don't think we've ever talked about that.
That's a great idea.
Didn't know Inca
I've
gold would
certainly
work.
colored them with Spectrum Noir pens because you can
Yeah.
change their color,
But you know,
especially when they're white.
if you've already bought these, let's just use them.
Use them.
So gorgeous. So as you can see, just a lot of different things that you can do.
You know, I've read that Inca gold can be used on wood surfaces too.
Oh,
so,
I bet it can.
So
I
they'd
bet
be
you're
great
right.
on frames and all kinds of fun
Right.
stuff.
So notice that we've got the right side, this is with the embossed side up and then the embossed side down. And it can be just, now both of these speak of love and so forth, but this would be great for any sort of occasion and would be great on scrapbooking too, because
It would.
you could have your photograph there and let this do an embellishment.
So highly useful.
Yeah. Now we're going to go to our cat silhouette,
Our
and
cat.
I have to tell you, I love this. I think that is just gorgeous.
Oh, it's so sweet.
And this is a window. We've got some vellum back there. And our kitty is out of brown suede.
It's out of brown suede, true. So I'm going to go through this card a little bit in steps.
Okay.
So let me show you. First, you start with this piece of paper that you're going to use, which is from the Picket Fence
Right.
collection. And you know that your card is going to be right about here. You want this in the lower left corner. And I started with a penknife. Actually, Debbie did this card. Started with a penknife and started cutting around the edge. So I don't have a cutting mat, so I'm not actually going to do this. I've already done it, you see. Gone
Through the
around
magic of television.
gone around the edge of that flower so that that's ready to go. After I've done that, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this to a card. So when you glue this in place, just make sure that you don't glue the edge of that card down. And that's really easy. You can see where that is. So put glue all around here and don't put glue right there on the card.
Okay, because we want that to lift up.
And then you glue it in place. And once we've done that, here I have the card. It's been glued in place and that piece is still loose. And then I embossed. Now you see that I've cut it out at this point, but I went ahead and embossed the cat on suede.
This is brown suede.
So this is brown suede, and you can see that the kitty cat is pushed up, so it's a raised image. And then I cut around the outer edges. I left the tail on there, went all the way around like so. Now you know that we're going to back out a little bit because now you know where this is going to go. You know this is going to slide underneath that flower. You do that, and then you take a pencil and trace around the outside of the window. Remove the window, and then I cut about 1/8 inch inside of that window because we're just going to back the window panes with that. So I cut there, and oh, I don't think I finished cutting. Normally I would use
you want a
cutting mat, but I'm just going to finish this.
Aren't we just being wild over here?
Well. So there we go. Now we're just finishing up cutting out that window. So now we can remove that. So I didn't cut through to the, you don't want to cut.
Do not try this at home, people, without a cutting mat in there.
I should have opened it like this on a cutting mat. Anyway, so now we've got that, and we go ahead and cut out the individual panes from each of these, like the card. So all of those were cut out individually. Then this was glued in place, and vellum was glued to the back. So you can just glue vellum to the whole back of that. And once you do, you've got that finished card.
And you can see right through. I love the ghosted look that vellum does. I also think it's very clever to put our greeting down here. And that just works very, very nicely.
And that's the tiny words and phrases greetings, I believe, gold. So it fits perfectly.
And then on the inside, now you don't want to have anything back here because you want to have that ghosted look. So we just went down here. You're the best. Very, very nice. So again, this can be birthday, this can be just so many different things.
Now see, you're looking at that thinking that's not an embossing folder, it looks more like a cutting rod.
It
but
does.
You do it yourself just by following those lines.
You want to see something else?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had our brown kitty, now we have our silhouette kitty.
Okay.
But look at that gorgeous window. What's going on there?
So layers. So this has been embossed 3 times. Once on white cardstock, once on silver ripple holographic. Holographic. And once on black cardstock. So we start with the base, which is the white cardstock. And I'm going to ink that very lightly and then cut out around the outer shape of the window. Now I like using the stylus.
Kind of there.
See how pale that is? I really did it lightly. And
but you did it with black.
But I did it with black, and so I don't need to ink this up very lightly, very much. I don't need very much ink, and then you can always, I'm going to cut this off, so let me show you. You can just sort of test it to get just the right color. You don't want to overdo it. And then just hit the top edges. And I know for this one, most of it's going to be covered up. You're only going to be seeing the outer edge of that window frame. So I just did that and continued around until I had that nice gray look all around the edge, and then you cut it out just around the edges.
Okay, so that's the frame, as you can see.
So that's the frame. Then you emboss the silver part here. Here we go. And I'm going to bring in my craft sheet so I don't get ink all over everything. Because when you look at this embossed, what can you see?
I see ripples.
You see ripples and not much of anything else.
Right.
And we want to see, I know that I'm going to cover up the cat because I'm going to cut that out as well, but I do want to see the window panes. Need a little bit more ink for this one. And just do the same thing. And I did try to stay off of the window panes as much as I could, but it's going to happen a little bit. You're just going to try to hit the top of those areas. And I don't have a very inky ink
Yeah, I
pad.
think you need one that's got a little more stuff
But
in
that's
it.
what I would do. And then you can hit just the top of those, just going around the edges. When you're done, you'll see what you saw there. You know, if you hit it in the background, if it covers up a lot of that, you can remove that with Stays-On and a Q-tip.
With
There
the
you go.
cleaner?
Yeah, Stays-On
right.
cleaner, excuse me. Stays-On cleaner and a
Right.
Q-tip, and you can sort of clean that up a little bit. And the last piece was to emboss again to get just that kitty and then start cutting out the little kitty. Really easy to cut around those edges, and I believe I also cut out the butterfly. So
I think you
now
did.
you've got a nice dark image of that cat that you can just glue in place. When you're all done cutting it out, you just glue that in place on top.
And
so
then,
layers.
And you're right, the butterfly is right there. In fact, as we get in a little bit closer, you can see that there is a silver butterfly on top of the black one, and that is with the silver jewel
Right,
butterflies.
they fit perfectly on there.
And I love this, the whole black, white, silver. We'll back up just a little bit so you can see this card. It is a cutaway card. The fold is up here, and the black behind all of this embossing.
Right.
And then look at the butterflies, how we've got them just going out. May all your wishes come true. Again, this is out of the Inside Out greetings.
And I love doing the cutaway cards because you can use your greeting on the front and on the inside. You don't have to add a second one.
Little double duty there, huh? And the last one we have is just where it has been chalked, so in all of those different areas. So you've got lots of options.
So while this is chalk, I mean, because you have all those separate areas, you could go in with a Spectrum Noir pen and just
Right.
color all of the individual elements.
Yeah,
That
if
would
you
be
want a
fun
little
look,
more,
too.
defined, but reaching for that butterfly is very, very fun. And on the inside, we've got just a greeting going. So
lots of fun ways
Yeah.
to use them. Like you said, these are year-round embossing folders.
right, and I think you'll get a lot of value out of them and make a lot of fun things. Okay, there's just one thing. Gail made a comment after we were done, and you really have to hear it. So what is
Right.
it?
Okay, so when we're doing cutting dies that have this much detail, especially if you turn it over and see it's just got all these little pinholes, it can be very difficult to remove the images without some help. And this is what we use. This is an invaluable tool that we use every day in our department, and it's called the Tool-in-One by Spellbinders. So it's got this nice little pick at the end, so I can go through from the back. Once all that cardstock is stuck in there, when I'm trying to get the die cut out, and I can go through and poke out individually. But even better is this brush. I know it seems kind of funny, but these are really strong bristles. You just go like that and everything just sort of pops out, and there you have your die cut, easy to get out, and we use this almost every day.
Good to know. We just don't want to withhold anything from you, so Tool-in-One and Gail to the rescue.
Okay.